that you can do something, you can do it as long as you really believe 100%, said by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Limitations live only in our minds, but if we use our imagination, our possibilities become limitless, said by James Paoletti. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. Dwayne Daniel. So we are back again, the third week of our Mindset for Transforming Business and Entrepreneurship Masterclass. And we have several speakers that will be speaking to us this week. This morning, or this afternoon and this morning, we have Professor Mercy Ogbe, Dr. Mike Littman, Dr. Suprana Chattopadhyay will be speaking to us this morning. And in the evening on WhatsApp, we have Ambassador Florence Joseph and Ambassador Charles Adonokra. Okay, so we'll just go straight to our first speaker. Professor Mercy Ogbe is a self-motivated, experienced educationist, industrialist, as well as creative and reflective thinker and developer, an excellent communicator and motivator. Professor Dr. Mercy Ogbe has a PhD, BET degree from University of Nigeria, Nsukka, and she's an accomplished, self-motivated, experienced educationist for 49 years running, entrepreneurship of 43 years educational, and higher order thinking, critical thinking, creative thinking, decision-making, consultant of 16 years in practice. She has also had an intensive training by Center for Critical Thinking and Moral Critic, Seneca State University at USA, and also 28th Annual International Conference on Critical Thinking, 2008, and several other conferences in Nigeria. Professor Dr. Mercy Ogbe is the CEO of Thinker Skills Limited, a training firm for higher thinking, skills development, and educational consults. Founder and President General of Center for Critical and Creative Thinking Development in Africa, CCCTDA, for 11 years now. A dynamic and passionate presenter in seminars, workshops, conferences with great passion to cultivate and foster skills and standard in the mind of children, youth, and adults. So I won't be able to read all, but I'm just going to show it on the slides for you to read as we go on. So she has so many awards, awards of excellence and National Association of Director of Private School, and then South Nigeria Award, and every other multi award, and industrials, creative. That is who Professor Dr. Mercy Ogbe is. She's also written so many books and so many journals, and we just want to appreciate her while we invite her to come and speak to us this morning. You are welcome.
Good morning, Prof. Thank you again for another day, and we thank God who has given us good health and the opportunity to be here. I want to appreciate all those who have been present in this program. Their presence has, have encouraged us, and those who are the listeners, I guess they are also getting something good from this program. I, for one, am also getting, though I present, but I'm enriched by what I also get from others. Once more, my name is Professor Dr. Mercy Ogbe, and the topic this morning is overcoming challenges in businesses using critical and creative thinking skills part 3. We remember that we've had part 1 and 2 last week, and this week we have the opportunity to round up this topic of overcoming challenges in business using critical and creative thinking skills, part 3. As my introduction, our key concept here is business, which is basically the economic activities or enterprise of selling and buying products in the form of goods or services. They are involved, that is, the businesses are involved in the exchange, purchase, sale, or production of goods and services to earn profits in an attempt to make a successful living or make money and wealth, and to satisfy the needs of customers or consumers. Though their main focus is earning profits, businesses can be both profit or non-profit organizations, and also focus on meeting societal needs and reaching desirable common goals. Businesses can differ in classification, types, and ownership, but for the most part, conduct the same internal activities and exhibit the same characteristics. This is said by Carrie Scatter. Some examples of businesses include car shop, Walmart, transport lines, delivery services, as well as smaller private businesses such as a furniture workshop / sales outlet, a grocery store, or law firm. In today's presentation, we are going to identify the challenges and see how we can overcome as many as possible using critical and creative thinking skills per section. Remember, I've shared these things into sections. We have the profit-oriented and the non-profit-oriented businesses, and we know each of these oriented aspects, they have their challenges. The profit has its peculiar challenges. The non-profit has its own peculiar challenges. For instance, for the profit, generally, we know that they must adopt very high standards. Their standards of production, whether good or services, whatever their enterprise is, they must adhere to high standard because of the competitiveness. If they don't adhere to high standard, they are likely to fall behind and make their businesses to crash. So that is one challenge. How to keep up with high standard is one of the challenges of profit-oriented businesses. And then you also have to do all it takes to keep your customers, because there are other competitors that are in need of these same customers. So as being profit-oriented, you must adopt and adapt to customers' demands, whatsoever they are asking for, that will make their services or their sales to become, speedy. So these are some of the general problems you might find with profit-oriented, in addition to many others, even their financial cash flow and where to get loans. There are so many challenges facing the profit-oriented businesses as we go on. So for the non-profit-oriented as well, they have their challenges. For instance, in non-profit, they may not have the competition like the profit-oriented. They may not have that competition. So, and that will likely make them to become complacent, inactive. They are not as drivery as the profit-oriented. Their business, they may not show that passion as the profit-oriented would have shown. So they are likely to remain complacent and feel that the customers will come, the clients will come to them to ask for one thing, to need their services or their products, so long as they are doing it for empowerment, for to meet societal needs, not really for profit making. These are some challenges we have with non-profit oriented businesses, and many more that we shall see as we move on. We have also known that the product that businesses are into are goods and services, just two types, goods and services. And we know that goods are tangible things that are produced in the industries. What happens to these goods if they are not of standard, if they don't meet the desired need of the consumers and the customers? What happens? You see people turning their back to that business. And what happens if those who are working in that business setup are not well paid, they are not well taken care of, they are not trained? What happened? There will be challenges facing the business or the company or the enterprise. Therefore, you see that those who are producing goods have specific standards to meet up with. They have challenges facing them that comes also from the marketplace, because of the competition from others. The same thing with services. Your services have to be unique. They have to be up to standard. They have to be to the liking of the users of these services. If not, people will not also patronize you. So, as two types of products in business, goods and services, whichever you want to go into, you have to stand up to it. There is no about it. People don't want to take nonsense from you. They want the best. If you can't give them the best, they go to the next person who can give them the best. And then we also I told you before that there are three essential aspects of business, very essential. And you have challenges also coming out from these three essential aspects of business. One, personalities. The personalities involved in this business, who are the leaders, the owners of the business and the leaders. Leaders can be there as members of your team to achieve your vision, your goal. So what are some of the challenges that can come out from there? There are very many, ranging from who the owner is to who the associate leaders are, the team leaders are. What is their personality? Are they likable? Do people like them in that business setup? Are they fair? Are they honest? Are they trustworthy? Are they able to communicate effectively? All these are some of the challenges that are likely to come out if the personality involved is not attractive. Followers want to see something in the personality that they are following. Even if they are customers, they want to like the owner of the business. They want to like the environment where the business is taking place. They want to like the product the business is producing or the services. And these things follow who is the owner and who the leaders are. So we are still going to see a lot as we move on of such problems, such challenges, such obstacles that may emanate from the personality who is the owner of the business and the leaders who are there to lead the various groups. One of the problems you might see there also is fixed mindset. There are some of them that are not really well trained, and they come to start a business just because they need the profit, they need the money, they want to get the wealth. They don't really care about other people. They don't care about the customers, how to satisfy them. They come in crude and they remain crude. You tell them to go for seminars and conferences and training, they tell you that is a waste of money because they feel they are okay by themselves. They feel they've known it all. They feel they don't need any other person's advice. And some of them can be as crude as not even wanting their workers go for training. They are jealous of their own workers going for training because they feel they will be enlightened. They feel those workers, their eyes will be opened. They will get, more knowledge, more experiences that will likely surpass theirs. So they hide them. And if they must go, they sneak and go for those conferences in order to learn just for themselves. Self-centeredness. And they don't show empathy. They are not curious. So the personalities in any business play a very vital role in making for the success of that business. It plays a very vital role. Negative emotions can be there. Some of them, every little thing they blow up. They are annoyed and they insult the workers just because they are the heads of the business. They insult. And then you have the next one, which is the followers or the customers or the workers. These are the ones you may call lesser people, but of a truth, they are not less in any position. Because without them, your business cannot go on. Without your workers, you cannot do it all. Without the customers to lift up the off-takers are important. The customers, the consumers, they are all important. So if you don't care about them, they will look for the person who cares for them. If you want people to follow you, be a man or woman of value. Once you have value, people will follow you. No one wants to follow someone without value, something special you can get from them. So the followers and customers are part of the business that can create challenges if care is not taken. From their end, a lot of challenges can come up. Then we have the next section, which is the activities and products and policies and practices. And of course, the resources of the business. All these things, they play a great part. Activities, products, policies, practices. A lot of challenges facing businesses, they come out from here. Beyond the personality or personalities involved, and beyond the workers, the followers, the customers, the consumers, the activities and products and policies and practices of the business are very crucial. And a lot of challenges, many companies face a lot of challenges because of this. The activities, how are they? Are they smooth? Are they accepted? Is there any evidence of modern trend in the activities of the company or of the business? Are the policies okay? Are they favorable to customers? Can they get loans from the establishment? Can they buy some on credit and pay back? What of the products? How standard are they? How good do they meet the needs of the consumers and the customers? So when we talk of resource constraints, you know, money is there. You want to start a business, you need money, you don't have enough. Do you have a place to go to get um, the needed resources, the needed finance to support your business? Do you have the human resources to support your vision? And do you have a place where you can even get some of the things you require, resources you require to make your products? Do you have them? All these are certain constraints that bring about the challenges. And according to Rhodes, 1961, he said the first three P's of creativity denote the creativity person. It must be creative, the person must be creative. The personalities involved in a business must be creative. All the people, the workers, they must be creative. Then the creative process, the activities that go on in the business environment, they must all be creative. So they apply, and the creative product they deliver. All these three, they are applicable to the creative products that the businesses deliver. That is, if these three are not working up to standard, they are likely to become obstacles to the successful delivery of the business type. So we have to look at creativity as a very powerful skill in making any business to go forward. We must look at creativity. A business that is not given to creativity is likely to encounter lots of problems and obstacles. So how is creative thinking used in business to solve these problems? First of all, let's look at creative thinking is very essential to every business, just like critical thinking is. Creative thinking in business is the ability to explore different possibilities, to come up with new ideas or alternative ways of doing what you have been doing that can help you achieve goals and overcome obstacles to a smooth growth. This entails thinking outside the box, handling situations and looking at things differently, breaking down barriers, obstacles, and difficulties. So you can see that the word critical thinking is loaded. And I told you sometime before I rounded up my part 2, I told you the difference between creative thinking and creativity. Some people tend to be confused about these two. I told you creative thinking is the cognitive part of creativity. That is those things you can imagine in your mind's eye, your imagination, your ability to see what you want to create physically in your mind, in your mind's eye, how efficient that service should look like in your mind's eye. That is how you will want to perfect it physically. And so When you talk of creative thinking, we are talking of the imagination. Those things you create on the inside of your brain, those things that your brain contains, those are the cognitive things. And they can come about through your experiences, through training, and through reflection, inspiration. All these are ways those things manage themselves in the imagination. Then when you talk of creativity, you are talking of the physical things you create on earth. Creativity are the innovative things you do. The ideas are in you. Creativity is external. You do what you have created in your mind. Before the telephone was created, the producer imagined it in his mind's eye. He thought of how people can communicate effectively, creating the hand phone instead of the table phone that used to be of old. And so he had to bring it to realization physically. He communicated with some allies to join hands with him, and they brought his vision upstairs to bear physically. So creativity is the physical aspect of the creative thinking. You cannot do creativity, the physical aspect, without conceiving the creative thinking in your mind. So creativity in any business can be as important as that you keep daydreaming. You have to daydream. You have to imagine. You have to be creative upstairs before you can be creative physically in your environment. So let us see some of these problems we might be encountering as a result of people not being the right personalities, not being right to own a business, and the team leaders not giving enough experience that will make them to become, the kind of people they need to be in a business that will move the business forward and encourage their team members, encourage their team to grow the business. Let's also look at the activities of the company, of the business, the product itself, the policies, the practices they engage in, and even the source, the inadequacies of the source that they need to get to be able to establish a viable business. Number one problem that may arise, these ones I'm talking about, they are general to almost all of them. Number one problem is lack of clarity of purpose. Lack of clarity of purpose. Most personalities, most owners, and most leaders, they don't actually conceive a very clear purpose. They just feel, oh, I saw somebody doing this, I can do it. And they want to do it. Or I think I can do it. When you are thinking I can do it, that is not a clear purpose. First of all, when we take of purpose is whatever I want to do, what is it going to meet? What is the specialty? What is the service it will serve? What social need will it meet? How will it help the consumers? We are talking of the purpose of the product. Like the company that produces big biros, big pen. They created an imagination in their mind about jotting down things, writing down things. In those years, you take the pen and dip it inside the ink and start writing. When the ink is exhausted, you go back. Within the time you are writing and going back and forth, some ideas would have escaped. Especially if you are jotting what another person was saying, you are likely to miss some of these ideas. So somebody thought, what can we do to do something better so that somebody won't keep going to the pot of ink and collecting ink and continue to write? Sometimes the ink can be so messy, it messes up the whole work. And he came up with this big, that is a purpose. He had a clear idea of what he was going to produce and for what. A lot of businesses are suffering today, the challenges they are suffering because the owners were not clear in their purposes, clarity of purpose. So you have to explore your vision, analyze your vision. One thing you need to know is that you cannot talk of creativity or creative thinking without bringing it critical thinking. Two of them are like husband and wife. The critical thinking must do its work before creative thinking can take effect. So, in clarity of purpose, you have to exploit the vision, break it down, break the vision down, try to know where the obstacles are likely to be, try to know the prospect of that business. Then identify your goal, your strength, you must identify them, or your weaknesses or challenge. Before solving the problem, you need to fully understand the problem you are trying to solve. That is purpose. You must truly understand, fully understand the problem you are trying to solve. Why are you creating a particular design of dress? Your purpose could be just, to make for a show, to just show that you can design. That is a purpose. But it could also be to another person is that it is winter and they need to be protected. In that case, your type of clothing you want to produce must reconcile with the winter season, with the season you are creating that particular clothing for purpose. So the second thing you will want to see there is to gather data. If you want to be clear about your purpose, you must learn to gather data. Once you have identified and understood the problem, you can collect information about it and develop a clear understanding of it. Go about, seek people's opinion, ask questions about the kind of dress, the kind of clothing for this particular season that they will like to wear. Or this kind of product, how will they like it? You can go to the internet and search, make a research, find out about the product or the services, gather data. People who may have gone into it before, how did they fare? Why did they fail? Or why did they succeed? All these are information you need to get. Formulate technical and challenging questions. You must ask questions. You must be curious. For you to understand and make clear your purpose of the product or services, you must formulate technical and challenging questions. Then you have to generate, analyze, investigate, and evaluate ideas. Just conceiving ideas in your mind, which is the creative aspect of it. The first part I've mentioned, they are critical thinking aspect. But when you are talking of the creative thinking aspect, you have to generate ideas. But these ideas you are generating must be analyzed. They must be investigated and evaluated to know their authenticity, to know their relevance, to know their logic in whatever you want to produce. How logical are these ideas? You just have to. Then you have to formulate solutions for you to move on, to achieve your purpose. You must formulate solutions. This is where your product will come from. This is where your services will come from. The type of product you want to produce, this is where it will come from. Once you have ascertained that this is what you want, this is the product you want, then create an action plan. You create an action plan. Remember, we talked of your business plan. Write your business plan so that where you don't even have enough resources, by the time you present your business plan to investors, you will get people to support you, to invest in your business. And where you have all the money, you still need personality resources. You still need people to work with you. And everything that we make for the forward movement, for the successful achievement of your vision, your purpose, your goals, your plan. Finally, there, under purpose, you have to take an action. You must take an action. All these things I'm measuring, they have to do with creativity. You don't just imagine, excuse me, you don't just imagine without taking an action. You don't just follow all these things or generate ideas without analyzing them. You are likely to fail. That is where people just get ideas in their head, and the next morning they are already on it. They are on the street. They are already announcing it. They've not taken the pain to analyze that idea, investigate it properly, and evaluate how feasible it will be to move with that idea. So taking action is the final step, a part of clarity of purpose. Number 2, fear of adversity. These are some challenges that businesses have, and this emanates from the owners' personalities. As I said, fear of adversity. Do not go for people. So there are some owners who just afraid of different categories of experiences coming around. They immediately lose confidence. They are not able to cope. For an instance, when the job demands that you employ graduates in engineering, graduates in administration, graduates in production, and so on, and you as the owner, your highest educational level is OND, ordinary diploma, you tend to feel a bit of lack of confidence when these graduates are all seated in a meeting and they are beginning to talk according to their expertise. You feel inferior in their presence, and you are likely to if you are not careful to work on your personality, the next thing you will do is to begin to fight those people in your establishment. You want to see everything they've done wrong. You want to make them feel inferior and feel that without you they cannot exist. You want to insult their knowledge. Embrace diversity. There are people who feel because they are the owners, the establishment must employ only people from their tribe or their area or their religion. That is lack of diversity or fear of diversity, because they feel that employing just from their tribe or religion, they will feel secured. They won't be cheated, or the business will be more stable. That could be a lie. Why don't you seek employees from different backgrounds and organizational levels to use their skills and experience to solve problems? Sometimes solutions and innovation will come from well-trained employees who have an in-depth knowledge of the process of the enterprise and who are most likely able to create solutions. When you are open-minded, the fear of diversity will go off. So fear of diversity is another challenge that is facing a lot of these businesses, especially the smaller ones, the local businesses. They have this problem a great deal. Number 3 is have a creativity and innovative mindset. A lot of these business owners, entrepreneurs, they lack creativity and innovative minds. They are not open to creativity. They just feel the little they know is okay. So let's see some of the things you need to do about this to be able to solve the problem. 1, identify the barriers. You must learn to identify the barriers in that business. Recognizing creativity barriers is the first step to overcoming them. Those barriers to creativity, you don't like people who are talking of, oh God, let's do this. Madam, why don't we try this? Why don't we do it this way? Thinking outside the box is a problem to some entrepreneurs. They want to remain in the box. They want to think in the box. This is how we've been doing it in the past 20 years, and so it must go on. Any diversity, they are not ready for it. So identify those barriers and deal with them. Seek inspiration. Sometimes you may feel stuck or uninspired when you try to be creative at work. I got this also from the net, because if you are not inspired, inspiration is getting the answer, getting the aha, kind of thing in your mind, in your mind's eye. Suddenly, it's a sudden, uh, 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 um, attraction. Something just comes into your mind. Say, oh, that is the solution. That is inspiration. You cannot explain it. It just comes. So if you don't work with some of this inspiration, you may find it difficult in your work and business place as a result of creative activities. Then create a conducive environment. You have to create a conducive environment. If the environment at work is not conducive for workers, for customers, the place will not be attractive for people to come. It will not be attractive for people to work. They will start looking out for more conducive environment. Use techniques and tools. Don't work, with makeshifts, just makeshifts. Try to be up to date with your techniques and your tools. Search the net, go for conferences, learn what others are doing, that their products and services are getting better. If people delivering goods are using cars, and in your own time you are still either giving the goods to workers to trek to the next compound instead of using bike or using motorcycles or even the car or bus, you are not likely to do as well as others. Then practice and improve whatever you are in for. Remember purpose remember solution, and remember taking action. Then practice and improve on it. Balance divergent and convergent thinking. Divergent and convergent is a kind of thinking where divergent you take from a point and you are expanding. You are looking at different possibilities, looking at different possibilities. And convergent is when you have broad arrays of ideas and you are now narrowing them into becoming one. For instance, let's talk about the bicycle mobility. There are different type of means of movement, but one key thing that is common to all of them is the wheel, how the wheel propels the vehicle, the car, the lorry, the motor cycle, the bicycle. The wheels are there propelling the movement. That is a common thing. That is a divergent experience. Yes, you have different makes, but there's one thing. There may be other things that propel them, but the wheel, the ability to turn the wheel, makes it, a very wonderful idea that you can narrow it down to mobility. Mobility is movement. So you have to balance your divergent views and your convergent thinking to be able to arrive at reasonable creative products. Divergent and convergent thinking, they are all aspects of creative thinking. Then reframe problems as questions, differ a judgment, differ judgment of ideas. Ideas come, but delay them a bit before your action. Defer your judgment about them. Don't say it's good or it's not good. When your workers, your team come together, also don't just, disqualify the ideas they bring. Oh, no, it's not good. Forget about that. It's all nonsense. No. When you do that, you are killing creativity in your team. When you do that, you are killing creativity in your team. So what I'm trying to say here is that you defer judgment on ideas, because your ideas will help you. The ideas you get from around will help you synchronize them, and they help you to arrive at very useful conclusions. Then focus on yes, I can. This is why I love this group. Yes, I can, instead of no, it is not possible. A creative person doesn't know much of the word no. It is not possible. In fact, the word it is not possible is not a creative thinking language. It's not. It's not. The creative thinking person is always the person of yes, I can. Let's try it. It is possible. We can do it. Yes, that is the creative thinking person. When you begin to talk of no, it is not possible. No, then you are being stagnant. Your business is likely to be stagnant. Creativity cannot set in. So you have to focus and use the statement of yes, I can. Yes, we can. Yes, it is possible. Yes, we can try it. Yes, we can make progress. Yes, we can change the product or services. And then, of course, to get your ideas, you must always brainstorm. Brainstorming is taxing the brain to do what it should do, to give you what you need. You don't relax and be sleeping. Even when you are lying down, you are thinking in your mind. So number 4 is resistance to change. We just talked about number 3, which was
getting there.
There's lack of it, you are in trouble. So number 4, resistance to change. Yes, a lot of business owners are resistant to change, just as a lot of customers are also resistant to change in the sense. You see some customers, once there is a cheap product, they begin to think twice whether they should still patronize that business or not. They don't care to know what has happened. They don't care to know what the advantage of that change could be to them. Equally, the business owners, some of them resist change. We've talked about that a lot. So we have to learn how to be adaptational. We have to learn how to adapt to changes. There are different types of changes. Changes may be coming from the environment or from the market conditions within the environment. Changes can come from the need to change certain aspects of your business operation. Changes can come even from your workers. At first, you employ these workers, but as your business is growing, you are seeing the need to get more experienced people. So changes can come, but your ability to communicate these changes goes a long way to carrying the people along. If you cannot, although we've not reached the point of communication, but to effect changes smoothly, both to the leaders, the consumers, the workers, you have to learn how to communicate and adapt these changes. The next one is number 5, flexibility. Learn from others. Be curious and open-minded to attend training. Be flexible. Attend training, attend workshops, conferences, seminars, and organizational meetings. Organizational meetings are referred to here are those internal meetings or external meetings. You know, certain organizations of the same services or product, they have a union, they have an association where they meet. Try to belong and attend. In such meetings, you learn a lot from one another. Because if in that meeting they are really open-minded, they will discuss their prospects, they will discuss their pains, they will discuss their challenges and how to move forward. So you need to be flexible enough to belong to such groups. Move, have friends, discuss with other people. It will help you in your business. It will remove a lot of these challenges. Attend workshops, conferences, ask questions. Don't go to conferences and workshops and you just sit down taking note without understanding. Be sure you are understanding everything being said, and where you are not clear, raise up your hand and ask questions smartly. Then number 6, communication is another problem in most organizations. Lack of communication, lack of effective communication. Communication is not communication when it is not effective. In my previous discussion, I talked of decoding communication. If your communication cannot be decoded, if it cannot be made clear for the other person you are communicating with to understand, then it is not communication. You have only made noise. You didn't communicate. Because the problems will remain. The instruction will not be carried out effectively. So communication has to be effective and effectual. Effective and effectual are 2 key different words. Communication should be effective and should be effectual or efficient. So when you are communicating, just take note that if the other person does not understand you clearly is a key word in communication. That means the communication is not
हाँ ये तो
effective.
है, जितना माशाल्लाह अक्षय जी मोहब्बत से भरी हुई है, उन्होंने सेंडिंग भी दबा के करनी थी, और ये तो है।
Therefore, you have to be more explicit in your communication. Either you break down your terminologies, your vocabularies, you break them down, or your language is slowed down and intentionally made clear. There are some people, when they speak, you don't hear what they are saying. If you are there in their seminar, you gain nothing because you didn't understand. But when you are doing a presentation to a mixed multitude, you learn how to communicate effectively so that people can listen, grab what you are saying, and respond effectively. So, clear and honest communication cultivates and enhances understanding, unity, transparent cooperation among the workers. They can see or identify challenges and work out solutions faster in such an open-minded environment. Number 7, collaboration. Teamwork is very important. Foster a culture of collaboration, build trust and relationships. Use technology to facilitate collaboration. Collaboration is the ability of 2 or more persons working together. You joining hands with A, B, C, and doing the work, not you alone carrying it. Resilience, ability to stand up for it, ability to brace up for it, ability to tell yourself, I can do it, I won't fail. Even if the business seems to be shaky, you say, no, we can do it. Let us find out what is wrong and adjust. Ability to adjust. That is the spirit of resilience. Then number 9, fear of failure. A lot of business owners are afraid of failure. Yes, failure confronts every business owner. Failure confronts every business. So what do? It's not to be afraid of that failure, but to confront the failure itself. Therefore, you have to embrace what is called failure. That means tell yourself the likelihood of failure is there, but what can I do to stop it? Invest in training and development. Do well to send your workers or team to conferences, not just you only. This place, may I say it? You see, there are a lot of these business owners, entrepreneurs. They can be so jealous, they are so scared that they cannot release their workers to go for training. I've said something like this before. Don't be that worker, that business owner. Be the one that will carry your people along. Once you carry them along, they will be happy to work with you. Number 10, resource constraints. How do you generate funds? How do you go to where what you need to make your products are sold and you don't have enough money? Can they trust you to say, okay, I give them to you within 2 weeks or within a month, bring back my money? Are you an honest personality? Are you able to express yourself enough to those you take your product, your quality ingredient or whatever you use from, and they understand you? Have they built confidence in you? Can the bank give you loan and you meet with the payment at the right time? Have you built trust within the banks? So all these are resources. Can people you employ trust you that at the end of the month They will receive their salary. Do you pay out their salaries? Do you take care of the workers beyond their salaries? Or it must be as you work, so you will get. It is a matter of you can't get above what you worked. So you have to take care of these things. I've counted 10 of those challenges that you can take care of. And once you can take care of these 10, it will help you in a great manner to make your business a very viable one. I want to round up for here because this topic, as I said before, is very wide. But let me end up here. I want to take these steps to increase creativity in the workplace, which is an answer to experiencing challenges in your business. These two things are so essential: critical thinking and creative thinking. So, number one, establish a clear mission and vision. And to be able to be sure it is clear, the purpose of this vision is explained, is understood, is made clear. The purpose of your vision, what it seeks to achieve, must be clear to you. Then communicate the company's goals to everyone around, to your team, to your workers, and to your customers. Explain. Have a meeting of your customers. They can trickle in bits to buy their product, but let there be a day of a meeting where you can address them, where you can approach them, where you can appreciate them, where you can also tell them your strengths and your weaknesses, and how you all can build a very viable opportunity for everybody. Hire the right people. Hello. Implement flexible work. Yes, I'm rounding up now. Okay. Thank you. Implement flexible work hours. Provide space for critical thinking. Adopt creative thinking techniques. Act on good ideas. Reward creativity. Reward creativity. Reward the activities of the critical thinker and the creative thinker. God bless you. I hope you have gotten something from the presentation today. Thank you very much.
Not only something huge. We've learned a lot this morning. You wake us up Monday morning. Wow, creative and critical thinking. We really need to apply that into our workplace, our business. So it's so important that we start this morning with creative thinking, critical thinking, and also to switch our mindset from fixed mindset to growth mindset, and from negativity to positivity. Very, very important. So I want to say thank you so much, Ambassador Professor Dr. Mercy Ogbe, for delivering your great presentation this morning, breaking it down and giving us another opportunity to have a better understanding of what it is to have creative and critical thinking. Thank you so much. Any other question? Any question before we move on? Because our next speaker is right here, and ready to kick off. So, but any question before we move on? Any question? Do we have any question? Okay, I think we need to move on then. Right, let me first of all welcome all our great leaders on this platform. Thank you so much for joining us. Professor Karudin, thank you so much for joining us. Ambassador Bola Tutu, thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us. Dr. Stephen Cameron, thank you so much for joining us. Ambassador Lukman Nuruddin, thank you so much for joining us. Ambassador Elizabeth, thank you so much for joining us. And let's go straight to Facebook as well. Oh my God, this morning has been a great morning. Monday morning. Wow, waking everybody up so that we can all learn together. Um, Ambassador Rita Ilori, thank you for joining us. Inga, thank you for joining us from Georgia. Wow, Professor Nada Raskovic from Croatia, thank you for joining us. Floppy Savageo, thank you for joining us. Wow, 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 wow. Yes, so interesting. Yes, we've welcomed you already, Professor Karudin. Thank you so much for joining us this morning live on Zoom. We really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. I hope you feel better. Thank you. Right, let's move on. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's move on now. Before we go further, let me quickly give you 4 factors that can limit and stop us. Because it's one thing to come for seminars, masterclasses, workshops, conferences, but if we are not ready to break that barrier, that thing that is holding us back, that is stopping us of fulfilling our purpose, we will just be wasting our time. So the 4 factors are ignorance, lack of understanding, lack of vision, unknown of our identity of who we are, our purpose, and our why. And that is the moment of the truth. Everything in life requires hard work, dedication, commitment, sacrifice, investment, honesty, integrity, and gratitude. And that is why we encourage both old and young, and even the youngest one, to become a life learner, because learning is living and is lifelong. Curiosity will keep you thirsty for more, and no matter your level of education, you should never stop learning. Even if you have PhD already, you still need to keep learning. And Mama said, and I quote, a thirst for knowledge is something that can never be quenched and should be a lifelong quest. So discover what you are capable of doing and keep yourself in a growth mindset and keep learning. Every one of us have a dream. So all our dreams can come through if we have the courage to pursue them. And one of the said by Walt Disney, and one of the key factors for you to pursue your dream is to keep learning and keep upgrading yourself and also your knowledge. Wisdom is the principal thing, and in all our getting, we get understanding, better understanding of life, which leads you to better and quality performance to fulfill your purpose in life. We start by personal development, self-actualization, self-assessment, and self-love. Also, examine the situation that you find yourself and challenges with critical thinking, just as our first speaker have said, and find solution with your creative thinking. So on this note, I want to say thank you so much to our first speaker,